Joining us now is our political correspondent Olivia Utley with the latest. Olivia, what are Conservative MPs saying?
Well, I mean, this has taken almost everyone in Parliament by surprise. There were some Conservative MPs, I was in the chamber, who missed Keir Starmer's statement and didn't seem to notice Natalie Elphicke cross the floor and were looking at her in utter bafflement when PMQs started. Most Conservative, I've spoken to quite a few Conservative MPs who say that they believe themselves to be to the left of Natalie Elphicke and are hugely surprised that she, of all people, have chosen to cross the floor. Unsurprisingly, there's huge anger as well among the Conservative Party ranks. There are MPs who defended Natalie Elphicke when her husband, of course, was going through his sex abuse trial and stood by her side in the tough times and are now sort of staggered by her lack of loyalty towards the Conservative Party. Lots and lots of mutterings that she's only done this because she wants to get a peerage under the Labour government. What I find quite interesting is there seem to be quite a lot of people on the Labour side who aren't too happy either with Keir Starmer's decision to let her into the Labour Party. After her husband Charlie Elphicke's conviction, she said that he was being punished for being attracted and attractive to women, which seemed a pretty out-of-place comment given the circumstances. And there is consternation among the Labour backbenchers that someone who has been, up until this point, so hard line on immigration, as you would expect as the Conservative MP for Dover, is now changing her tune entirely. Some of what Natalie Elphicke has said in the past about both Keir Starmer and Yvette Cooper is pretty staggering too, given that this is now her party. Let's just have a look at that.
Yeah, here are the tweets. We can see there's no plan from Keir Starmer, is what one of these says, saying that he's saying, boats, what boats? Also points out that the Labour Party back fewer and weaker border controls. She's been very critical of Yvette Cooper, the Shadow Home Secretary. And indeed, she said that this is Labour's small boats policy. Keir Starmer standing at an open door, saying Labour do not want to stop the boats.
Well, hang on, Tom. She might have just, changed her mind on all this.
She says this is...
She now believes the Labour Party has the right plan.
Some of this stuff is only last year. This is Labour's only policy is to rely on the French. I mean, the most extraordinary turnaround from her there.
I mean, Natalie Elphicke was a member of the New Conservatives group. There's this very much right-of-centre group within the Conservative Party set up by Miriam Cates and Danny Kruger. This does seem to be an enormous about-turn. The only sign that perhaps this might have been coming is Natalie Elphicke has always been a YIMBY, as it's known, someone who's pro-planning reform. And her statement does have a lot. Her resignation statement, which is utterly eviscerating, by the way, of the Conservative Party, does have a lot about house building in it. That's the only sign that she was sort of out of step with the direction that the Conservative government was heading. But still, it has taken almost everyone by surprise.
It's interesting. She says the deciding factors have been housing and the safety of our borders. Housing first, borders second. She devotes about 3 times the length of the statement to housing compared to what she does to borders. Do you think that that's been perhaps the trigger in all of this?
I mean, perhaps that has been the crunch in all of this. There are cynical Conservative MPs who suggest that there is no policy reason for Natalie Elphicke defecting. It is purely a question of knowing which side her bread's buttered in the lead-up to this election. But if there is a sort of policy crux of the issue, then it must be the housing problem, because as far as we've seen so far, Natalie Elphicke, again, on the front line of the small boats crisis, has been very much on Rishi Sunak's side on small boats, very much pro-Rwanda, etc.
Well, Olivia, let's have a look at some of these pictures that have just come in of Natalie Elphicke there meeting with Keir Starmer after Prime Minister's questions in a parliamentary office there. Or is that the Commons Library? But there we go, a Union flag, not so subtly placed behind Sir Keir Starmer there.